Good morning. Well, this week I got this wild hair to make this easy does it bag by Annie. Today I'm giving away a fat quarter of Tula Pinks. I don't know what it's called. It's got little snails on it. And I think it's really cute. But I made this bag and the inside of it is just as pretty as the outside of it. I'm not going to make the whole thing. The pattern is, she's got all the cutting instructions. She's got all the everything. She's even got a video of how to do it. So I'm going to show you a couple things. This one I didn't put my bling on, but I'm going to show you how to add the bling to it and how to cut bias binding an easy way, and just a couple things because she does such a good job. I couldn't compare with her. I use Soft and Stable, and what you're going to need for this is you need lining 18 by 21, so you can use fat quarters, and you need a main fabric 18 by 21, fusible interfacing. You only need an 8 by 6 little piece of interfacing, and then of course you need your zippers. I have by Annie, but I have a whole bunch of Cam Demores by the yard. So I'm going to use those up. I've got Annie's also. Okay. And it went together very, very easy. I was really, really impressed. And I think it looks just beautiful. I love the fact that it's all finished and lined, and it looks absolutely beautiful on the inside. So I always make a sample first, then I figure out how to put my bling on. So let me put this over here. Okay, so what I did, today 15% off my 3/4 inch scallops and the pusher to go with it. I have tutorials of how to make those. So I made, this is probably 13 inches. So all you need is 3-inch strip of fabric, 2 pieces of fabric together, and just make it, then I cut them in half. So I put this on this side. So I've got this one done. And then this piece of fabric I think is 2 1/4. So what I did was I took the Soft and Stable, made it 18 by 21. Then I took my fat quarter 18 by 21 and I ironed it, and then I cross hatched it. This one I did a 3-inch cross hatch. So 3 inches apart. This one I did a 2-inch. I don't know which one I'm going to like better. The cool thing is, if you've got like little round circle things to round off the corners, she wants you to round off all the corners. Well, if you don't have it, she's got it. So you can cut it out. So I put it on a piece of cardboard. So all you have to do is like round out the corners once you cut according to her directions. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you the measurements, so I'm not. So what I did was I finally got my new tape back in the mail, so I'm all excited. And Lindsay last week showed you where I get this on Amazon. Get 4 of them for like $8.99 or something, and they're awesome. So I put the tape on with this, and I put it down so I didn't have to glue it. So what you want to do is take, and you want to make sure the snails are going the same direction. It took me a moment to figure it out because they weren't matching the way I thought they were. So then you want to match it up like this, but then you want to put this, and when you put it on, you want to make sure that you can see some of the zipper on this side. Okay. And then I'm going to take my hair clippies and go all the way across. Let's move this over. Actually, I could just use this. I think it will. Why make it harder than it has to be? Let's move this up. I got a little piece of fuzz in here. Let me get that out. There it is. Okay. Then you just want to make sure that you can see this on this side. So let me start here. Go like this. Because I think it deserved a little bling. I thought it looked a little boring. You know me and bling. I gotta have my bling. Oh, that tape worked fabulous, girls, guys, who's watching. Then all you have to do is sew the hand 1/4 inch. And then you flip it. And then what she wants you to do is fold it like this. And sew the zipper down like this so you don't have any raw edges, which I think is an awesome, absolutely awesome idea. So it looks perfect. Of course, take your stiletto, so you're going to sew right along where the zipper edge is here. Cut this off. And also I'm using you can either use a 90 needle or a jeans needle, which is 100. I'm using 100 because you have got a whole lot you're going through on this thing. And I was glad I had a 100 needle in, I'll tell you, when I was doing this. Let's see if it looks okay with my scallops. Yes, it does. Okay, just sew it all the way down. And then it looks perfect on both sides. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? And then I'm going to take this out. Of course, move my zipper down on my last one. You know how when you make mistakes and you go, okay, Hey, I'm not doing that next time. Oh my gosh, the things we do, girls. And you question your sanity a little bit? Oh, I do that all the time. Then you just want to cut this off. And cut off the other side. Make sure they're even. So that's why I sewed the end of this, because my zipper went flailing off. And then I had a hard time getting it back on, because sometimes it goes on easier than others. And I was like, oh my gosh, this drives me crazy. And then what they have you do is you take this, and of course this isn't going to be going any right direction with this, and they have you sew this onto this, right sides together. And do the 1/4 inch once again. Scissors. And then what she had you do that was really nifty-fifty. I want to make sure I'm doing it right, because if I do it wrong, I'm not going to be happy with myself. And then on the zipper side, she had you cut some of your bias tape. But before I go any further, I'm going to show you a cool way to make bias tape. She tells you how big to make the bias tape. So she had you make it 14 by 14. Okay. So you take a 14 by 14 inch square. You cut it diagonally. Okay. Then what she had you do was, this is a mountain. And then you had, this is a valley. So it looks like a parallelogram. Okay. Then you sew this with a 1/4 inch seam, and leaving like the 1/4 inch on each side. And then you open it up, and then it looks like this. Then all you have to do is iron this in, iron this in, and this is a really easy way to make bindings. So let me cut it. You want 2 1/4 inch strips, and this will make enough strips for your project. So I'm just going to even this out. Just want them meeting right there. And this is a really simple way to make bias tape. So then you go this way. 2 1/4. Make sure it's even here. and just keep cutting all the way down. And then all you have to do is put them all in one long, and they're already cut at the angle that you need, and you make your long strips. Okay. Then when you sew this, on the zipper side, she wants you to take, I'm going to make sure I'm doing this right. You cut some of your binding. Keeping this out right here. Then you're going to sew this. On here. And then what she wants you to do is take and do some more sewing so this flattens it out a little more. Instead of the 1/4 inch seam like an 1/8 going down. So it just flattens your soft and sable. Which makes total sense. And then what you do is you bring this over like this. Just use clippies here. And here. And then we just sew. Nice and flat. Right here. Okay. So then that looks really pretty there. And of course you go on the other end, do the same thing. sew the down a little more. Okay. Then on the zipper side, once again, you sew this on again. With the fold going down. Oops, came unthreaded, sorry. God, I didn't even touch it. Let me push this over here. And then what she has you do is you have those little handles, and they're 4 inches by 5 3/4. Make 2 of them. So then you put interfacing on them, and then you just fold them in half. Then fold them in half again to the center, and then you just sew all the way around them. And then you put them right here, like right underneath where you sewed. Just make sure they're even here. It's about 1/2 inch. And I think I'm going to go a little further down. Go 3/4. Yeah, because they're both even 3/4. And then you just sew this down the sides. So it stays. Actually, this bag didn't take very long. I was really quite impressed. And I had fun with it, actually. I would make it again. Lindsay does not want one. Is she shaking her head no? Would the boys want one?
No.
That's a no. Connie's, she doesn't like anything I make. Not very often.
Not that I don't like it, I just don't want to add more to my house.
She's a minimalist. I'm a maximalist. She's a minimalist. That's because I like all my sewing stuff. I like too much sewing stuff. Actually, I have too much sewing stuff. But it sure is fun. Okay. Then the hardest part for me was putting the rest of it together. But it wasn't hard. Well, then what they have you do is take this little 2.5 inch circle and round the corners. So I already went and measured it. And then they want you to sew an 1/8 inch all the way around so that it's easier to work with. Fun. I really enjoyed it. Boys might get one anyway. Lindsay's going. But they're really well made. I mean, what a great idea. And I love the chartreuse. It's just an odd color, but I like it a lot. Then I have to make sure the snails are going the right way. This is the right way for snails, Lindsay?
Yes.
Okay. That was my biggest worry.
Well, some of them are sideways. There's not really...
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Seriously?
Yeah.
They are somehow sideways? I sat and looked at them and I thought, okay, I'm looking at these too much. So you put right sides in, because now you got to match them and you got to find the fourths. Got to find the centers of all of this. So I'll put a pin in here. In here. And then here's this. And here's my center over here. And here's my center over here. And then you do the same thing for this. Center. Center. And Lindsay's thinking this is too much work. Except she's building a Murphy bed. Lindsay can build anything. She's starting with plain wood, and she stayed up till 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. And she's building a Murphy bed for her guest room. That's because when she was young, her dad would say, "Don't you want a chainsaw for your birthday?" I'd go, "Oh my gosh." Well, apparently she wouldn't mind. And then you just match all this up. We were all excited. We thought it was spring. Lindsay bought all these flowers. Was it petunias?
Pansies.
Pansies. And then it snowed. So she was not a happy little camper. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna have to pin it. It's not working so hotty. And then all you gotta do is match this all in. I gotta pin it, it's not gonna stay. Have no pin? Yes, I do. Match the corner. You sure that the snails were going both ways?
Pretty sure.
I'll get it all done. It'll be on the wrong way. I don't want to pick this whole thing out. Oh my, that would drive me to drink, man. The sad thing is I do it. That's what's sad. Oh, shoot. Okay, then you end up sewing all the way around, and then when you're done sewing all the way around, all you take is the binding and you put it on the outside, then you flip it and you put it on the inside, and that's how you make it look clean. And that's why this one looks like this. You girls get my drift. You guys have done this so many times. And that's how you have the inside. Look as good as the outside. So it looks really, really good. So we're going to give away a fat quarter. Let me get it for you. And also, if you would like to buy some of Tulip Pinks, it's $10 a yard, and I don't know how many yards I have. Lindsay'd have to check it out. The snails, and just let her know. Let me get this. Thanks again for watching, girls.
We'll post the tulip pink to the website.
Yeah, Lindsay will post the tulip pink to the website. It'll go fast because tulip pink always goes fast. And the winner today is Connie McCoy. Honey. She's my bud. So, congratulations, Connie. Bless your heart and have a wonderful day. And please make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you share. And God bless all of you.